All right, everybody, we're going to show you a new little training, little utility that we've created. A lot of people do know my background a little bit. I'll share a little bit of that with you in case you don't, but marketing guy slash IT guy. IT guy for 10 years for Anheuser-Busch, ran email systems, built it, started off answering phones. How do you send an email? I said, hey, I want to be in the operations team. I want to build the servers, Microsoft Exchange, 5.5, 2000, 2003. And then about 2008, InBev came in, and we all know about the Anheuser-Busch merger, takeover, what you want to call it. But we are about to implement Exchange 2008, and then it all happened. So I said, I want to go off to the world, but go back into the sales world. I sold computers while I was going to grad school, at a master's degree from Webster University. And I said, let's do this. I'm going to take what I've learned in the IT world, try to apply that to. So I sold Google marketing, what they call SEM or pay per click AdWords, and became the number one guy in the entire company for the or number two, number one, number three, depending on the month. But the number one guy in the region for sure. But a national company called Reach Local, great company. They essentially kind of taught Google, you better start managing this for your clients, and that's what they did. And then Google kind of took that over, and Reach Local had to change their model. But I'd come in pretty quickly and ended up being the number one guy within about a year and a half. One of the reasons I did so well is because I'm an analysis guy, I'm a numbers guy, I'm a business guy. You learn technology; it's all about bits and bytes and data, and that translates quickly into spreadsheets and numbers and conversion, cost per click, CPL, CPA, all that kind of stuff, cost per lead, cost per acquisition. And I ended up bringing in some of the biggest deals for Reach Local the company had ever had. And a lot of those well-known companies, some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. One of my biggest clients, very awesome guys, did great support, ended up helping to put together my TV show for 5 years. That was very expensive, but they all came together and said, hey, it's a marketing strategy for them. The judge is my business partner, Mike Carter, the lawyer for those guys, and has his own law firm. And it really turned into a great opportunity. So now we've moved on to, and I'll show you just this quick snapshot of a couple of things. I've got it set up. I'm going to share my screen, but just to see this, you'll see this anyway. I got a couple of things going here that we're going to share with you. So I'll click share screen two. Yep. Got to do two screens here going. And so here is, there I was, the number one out of 882 reps. This is for the Dex Media Thrive, not called Thrive. And I was there one of that merger acquisition between Yellow Pages, Dex Media, all that stuff happened. But at this point, there were 882 reps. I was the number one guy in the company. And the second year, did it again. This is after big contract that I had. They decided they could do it themselves. And I said, that's all right. I'll move on. I'll just go get a job and stop trying to change the world, run your own company. And I did. And I'm back running my own company 3 or 4 years later. I worked for these guys, and then TV shows that kind of evolved, but you can see that. So we're going to switch over here. This is what I've been doing now for the last 3 years. We've done about a $500,000 in revenue, 3 years, but it's just pretty much myself and my assistant, Dawn. And I know how to produce a TV show very efficiently with all my technology background and everything we do there. So here's the show, Your Little Castle. The reason I became the number one guy for them and a number of companies, I've been the number one guy in big national companies a few times, was because I create these analysis tools. Well, getting into this whole AI world, and it's pretty much self-evident. When you want to be on TV, you see what we're doing here. Here's just some of the examples. I'm going to actually put up another page here called We Go Lead.com. I'm using a different browser here, but this should redirect. There it is. It takes us to our We Go Lead page. It redirects to your little local lead. I just wanted to do a domain that's easier to remember, forward it onto the page. But this is where a lot of our leaders go. And you can see what we're doing here. But it's pretty simple math. And we've done this for 3 years now. And people are just like, I get it. We produce a show, a promotion. We got some stuff, a lot of stuff we do for free, some charities we put on for free. We sponsor that ourselves or for some of our sponsors and people we work with. And Carroll House Furniture has been a long time sponsor of the show. But overall, most people choose to have us produce a whole video for them. And then you get a lot more time, and it airs on ABC. It just aired again tonight. We're doing 3 shows a week now, and we're going to go to 5 here pretty soon. There's definitely a demand for that. But you can see these pages. And so it's pretty easy math. You say, hey, come on our show. We'll produce a show for you. It costs around $3,000 is what it's pretty much. We start off with less than that, and you get more for less. And now it's pretty much, here's the deal. It's $3,000 for a half hour. Compared to anybody else offers, they charge $1,700 for 4 minutes. We're saying give us 3,000, but with 2,500 and some add-on things. Just about everybody spends about $3,000 with us. So additional stuff, because we're not really a television production company. We're a marketing company who produces TV shows. It's how you use these videos after they've aired. That's where the real value is, and real punch behind these are is to bring revenue and generate money. And you can see the stuff we're talking about because if you go over here and look, and I'll take it here real quick. But if you just go to our drop down menu here, you go to what our guests have to say and some other cool things we've got on our page. But what we do, all kinds of good information here. We really kind of make it easy. So what our guests have to say, I'm gonna click this button right here, and here it is. This is our testimonial page, really, and it's / results. It is right there, linked from the top of the page. And Isaac, one of the best examples, he says, I made $360,000 off being on your show. Watch the video. He talks about it. I said, hold on, let me record this. I'm not sure what you're going to say, but I'll play it here. You can. So Isaac came back. You can see here, and I just do the math. It's on the screen here. You can see I put some numbers up. I'm like, yeah, here's what he made according to him, and why he wanted to be on the show again because he's got new products and that stuff. But he did about an average of $30,000 per sale. He does James Hardy siding. It's kind of expensive stuff, but it's a $30,000 to $50,000 job. We just did the low number times 12. It's $360,000. Let's just show you that what I did for my other companies. And I created the analysis tool, got used across the entire company. And that was for Reach Local. And then I've done this a few times, a few different places, but that was the one that most stood out by everybody. Oh my gosh, they're using Carter's tool. Like, did a Zoom call, or back then they did WebEx, and they said, hey, everybody, here's our new tool we're going to use. And everybody looked, oh my gosh, that's the tool Carter created. It's analysis, giant spreadsheet and database stuff you pull in there, whatever. So, but just explain to being on our show is kind of a no-brainer, especially if you're a roofing deck. It's anything that's over a $500 cost per acquisition, or I'm sorry, value to your business, or client. Some people spend a monthly thing with you. So, what's the lifetime value of a customer? But if you get 500, excuse me, $500 or more, it's definitely worth being on our show. These guys are selling jobs that are $30,000, $50,000 each. So I'm going to show you the tool I created here. It's kind of straightforward. Go lead. There you go. More. These are where we got most of our shows at. Just a few teaser ones here on the Your Little Castle show. I'm going to go back. I put this on our website. Now I make these sheets and these analysis tools myself using spreadsheets and import some data and all kinds of ways you can get the data in there. But with the AI revelation, I said, hey, man, let me try one of these AI things. I read and study and watch YouTube. And the guys are like, if you use this utility, you can create something. And I just literally spoke. No, I typed it out. Yeah, I typed out a quick, make me a video marketing analysis tool that gives the average value of a, and I used essentially the words you see here, and they end up throwing, and it spit this thing out for me in like 3 minutes. And I could have created this myself and some back end stuff you can't see here that would create and let you calculate these numbers and give you an ROI. That's what I did. Much more complicated one I did for pay per click, because I would put data in relative to cost per click and how many keywords and the search terms and a number of 150 keywords and variations of that. But here we're just pretty much, this is a little more simple one, but it would have taken me 5 to 6 hours at least to make this thing. Boy, AI made it easy with this new AI utility. I've used a bunch of the AI tools out there. Some of them are really good. It depends what you're doing. Sometimes they work out well. Sometimes they just don't work out well. I ran this thing a couple of times. It came up with different results, even though I was saying the same thing. But the first thing I put in there, typed it in, spit this out. 3 minutes later, this thing pops up. Now I've embedded it in my website. This is coming from their database. If you look at the back end of this, you can get the code out of there, whatever. But I've embedded my page. So let's put this out there for people to use. Let's actually crunch some numbers. Used to do a roofing guy. He's like, I get one sale. You see here, we put the number, it's the base number. I don't know how I could edit this. I could figure it out. But I said, let's say the average investment from this video production is $3,000. Guy gets one roofing sale from it. These guys are telling me, Carter, we go to trade shows all the time. We got to spend $3,000 to go to the trade show. We hope to get 2 or 3 clients out of it, maybe 5 or 10. If we get one, we can break even. We get 2, now we're doubling our money. And so look at the numbers you got on here and see how this turns out. I just looked at the default numbers that the system put in there when the AI created this, but let's change them. Let's change them to some more real. Play with the numbers. I'll show you how this thing works. It's dynamite. Now it's embedded, available right here, yourlittlecastle.com/ROI. And we use construction because that's generally where most of our clients come from. But we've had a marriage counselor on, a life coach, a spiritual coach, couple restaurants, a couple food locations. I mean, these are all guys that are spending, they're making $35. Now the lifetime value of their customer may be $600, $1,000 because if they come back 7 or 8 times to your restaurant, but these restaurants, they know how to make money. These are the guys that have done it before. Duke's out in Wentzville and Jars by Fabio, they all took advantage because we produce a show for pennies compared to what over time, they're going to make this money back for sure. Roofing, decking, siding, you name it, construction, concrete, uh, chimneys, uh, landscaping. Those guys, this is a complete no brainer for those guys. And the cool thing about a video is it doesn't just make you money one time. It goes, when does it air, Carter? When does it air? It airs at 12:30 at night because it doesn't matter when people are not watching this show at the time it airs because they're looking for a roofing company, right? They're looking for a decking company. They're just watching TV. But after it airs, that's where this thing really kicks in. I'll show you a couple examples like Schneider. I'm going to switch over. Which tab do I need? Let's go this one. Control T. There we go. Get a new tab. SCHNEI. Schneider Roofing. Let's see what comes up here. Yeah, there's Schneider Roofing. Look at the front. Well, look at that right there on the front page. Charlie knows how this works. And Charlie's like, I had that. I know I've done this before. I couldn't read him. He's like, what? Yeah, man, I'm on. Come on, dude. I already had a video out there. It wasn't a guy from St. Louis that everybody knows. It wasn't on ABC, but it sold roofs for me while I'm sleeping. Let's do this. He did another one. He's got another one somewhere. I have to look. Services. It was he did a commercial storm hail damage. Let's see. And there's his other one. He come in here to 2 interviews with us. So I think that's a hail expert. This one's hail expert, and this one is Schneider Roofing overview. Been on twice. He knows this works. It paid me 2 different productions that are in that ballpark for the overall cost. Everything we do, so it works. It's a no-brainer, especially in those guys. So let's break it down though, and this analysis tool, like I said, helps you really. Some people can't picture that, not real complicated, but let's make it easy for you. That's what we want to do. So I did the ROI tools. I'll show you screenshots from the other ones I did back in the day that got used. The entire company was using it. I'm like, wait a minute, I made this for me. And I shared it with my team, and then the team guys showed it to the guy in Chicago. And the Chicago guy said, take it to the company. People were like, what? They're using Carter's tool. It's similar to this. It was more complicated, but this one breaks it down for you. So let's say the average project is, let's just say it's $10. I'm going to go like this. Let's get that my arrow key one. Just see why is there a zero in front? That's why this thing works. But let's say the average project you make is 10 grand. Now there's a ton of stuff in the construction world that's way over 10 grand. It's hard to get 10 grand for much these days unless you're doing just part of the kitchen or you're doing a side job. That's not the whole thing. But let's just say it's 10 grand. And now the views you may get per month, this is, if you start to market this, you'll get a lot more. But let's just say it's only 100 views a month. Keep in mind, these are oftentimes people that are like, they've already heard about you, but they want to learn more. They're going to spend 10, 20, 30, 50,000, even 3,000, 5,000. They want to learn more about you. And this is where everybody misses this. It's like a no-brainer, but I've done this stuff for Anheuser-Busch, been part of their marketing because the email team got brought in for those marketing campaigns. We used my servers to relay 50 million emails in 3 hours. We tracked everything delivered, not delivered, opened, not read, forwarded, deleted, everything they could tell about email. Tons more that we did to help them with all that stuff. And then I went into all this Google stuff, and that's where the guys that were spending a ton of money per month. It's more than most people make in 3 years. If you look what the average, I don't like to say how much these people were spending with me. Give you a ballpark. They were spending what the average American makes in 3 years, but they were doing it per month. And then they would figure it out and do it themselves or whatever happened after I taught them how to do it for a couple of years. But that's fine. That's the way business works. But the smaller businesses, if you're only getting 100 views right here per month, well, that's because you had 100 people going to your website and they're watching the video about your business. And you can imagine you probably get at least 100 people go to your website, hopefully. And if you have this video like Charlie does on the front of his website, and then another one, if you do more than that, he's got both of them out there. Some of our guests have done, a number of our guests have been back 2 and 3 times. We've had over 150 guests now. 150 businesses. There's only 1 week a show. And now we're doing 2 shows a week, and now we're doing 3 shows a week. And this is sometimes we let guests be on twice, and we record 2 half hours. They pay a little extra. Once you're in the studio, let's just knock it out. Let's get 2 shows. The overhead's already there. So my voice is going for a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been so busy over the break here, and we're there finishing up the new year. And today is the 5th of January. Tomorrow's already coming up on the 6th. Anyway, we set up our Airbnb. She put the 6th on, I guess, because they won't be coming over. We had a couple of days that they weren't booking our Airbnb. Another big project I ran, and my girlfriend set up with that, and she made a lot of money in her first year, enough to where she didn't have to work at the restaurant anymore. Good for her and good for us together. So, uh, but bottom line, here we are, 100 views a month. If you only got, it's going to be more than 2%, but these are people looking for you. They've come to your website, they're watching this interview. They might have heard about you because you took a clip from it. We give everybody clips out of the whole interview, cut the whole thing into clips. That software does it automatically now. It turns it into a whole post for you automatically. Reads what you said, turns it into text. Now you got a post written for you. Talk about that later, but I mean, this is kind of crazy. Let's just say you get four, let's say it's just 1 out of 20. So 5%. I mean, understand how this thing is working here. And out of a $10,000 sale, you get 100 people a month that watching this video. I mean, if you had 100 people a month that have heard about you coming back maybe more than once, let's not count those as duplicates. Let's say there's 100 people a month. You probably have marketing or something or word of mouth that gets 100 views a month. And if 5% of those views turn into, I got 95% that didn't, but you get 5% that turn into a sale, and if your margin is 25%, leave that as a ballpark number. A lot of people say they're 35%, but let's just say 25%. Now you spent 3 grand on the video, aired on ABC, get a copy of it, put it on your website right away. We'll help you do all that. It's easy to do. So your estimated yearly revenue, well, do the math. You got 100 people, that's 5 a month that turn into sales. And you're getting 10,000, you're making 25 bucks. Let's get my calculator out. I'll show you. This is not hard to figure out. But there you go. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Let's just play with the numbers. You can see how this works after we break it down. I like to break it down for everybody. So we got 10 grand. And let's see, let's just jump down here to the 25% margin because we're making 2,500 bucks on these deals times 0.25, right? 2,500. And out of 100, we're only getting 5%. So let's take that times 5. All right. So there's your 12,500. Am I doing something wrong here? Am I missing something? 5%, 25%. I'm going to take that times 12. I think we're going to be, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we got it. Because I already reduced it down to the profit, not the revenue. The overall revenue is 4 times that, right? Which would have if I had taken 10,000. But we're going to take this times 12. There you go. $150,000 in profits because the video doesn't disappear. My guests are telling me I got this video on my website 2 years later, made 600 or 360,000 off it. Here we're saying make a lot less than that. I mean, when does this thing not make sense? When does it not make sense? Let's just say you have a $2,000 product and you still only get 100 people a month and you still only get 5% of them decide to buy from you. Let's make it 2.5%. Not even getting, there you go. I mean, this is like, why wouldn't you spend on a very low end? So you get 2,000 total sale and 2.5%. Do the math and do the numbers and the margin, 25% still. Your total revenue is going to be generated 60,000, and at 25% of that being profit, you're making 15,000 on something you spent 3,000 on. Why do you think all these guys are flocking to us to go put me on your show? If I get one sale, I make it for these guys like roofing, decking, siding, fencing. Dude, go down the list, and even like the marriage counselor was like, "I'm on. I know who you are. I know what you stand for. You're a good dude." He's a pastor and a marriage counselor. Dave Rispoli, go down the list. They're all on our results page. You can see what these people have said about what we've done. I mean, well, this is crazy. Why wouldn't you? Let's go back up to say the average roof 15,000. Still at 100. It's hard to get less than 100 views a month. Let's just say 50. And your conversion rate's 2.5. And your margin is 25%. 25. It's actually these guys tell me 30, but we'll go with 30. Look at this. You're spending 3 grand to make $67,000 in profit. And the truth is, there's sales you should have already done all kinds of other marketing, and they're finding you and they're hearing about you and word of mouth and everything else you do, and you're losing them because you don't have a video on your website that really helps them understand in a half-hour format, like you see here. Watch. I'm gonna click this one. It's the first one. Oh, here it is. Chase is like, man, I'm so excited. We did 2 interviews for him, paid a little extra, and then I said, I'm gonna make these clips for you. And the clips come out of it, and here's what the clips look like. And we're not gonna switch. I'm using internet. There's why roofing, why cleanliness matters. All these clips come out of those. That's another way you make money, not just when people have found you and looking for you, trying to learn about you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a complete no-brainer. This is why I stopped. I was the number one guy in this company going on my third year. I even asked them, like, I got something to talk to you about. And they're like, we're good. I said, all right. My dad had recently passed, and I said, life is short. I'm going to go for it. I did it. This time was something, a different marketing product. This I was doing pay-per-click management for people for many years. Well, that's a beat 'em up business, man. Everybody's doing pay-per-click, and 95% of them don't know what they're doing. But this is something novel and it works. And then it leads to a whole lot more. And I'll show you all the other stuff you should do after you get the video done. But at least you understand the video, what it does, and then we'll take it from there. But let's put in your numbers. Let's say you're doing one more time. Let's just say you got a $5,000 product. You're doing a floor, a paint job. We'll do a paint job. We just had, go back here. You guys are on our page. I put them on yesterday. There they are. Usually have my assistant do these things, but I just said, oh, I forgot to order this one, get it done. My buddy, my techie guy, he's an intern. He's been with me for 7 years. If he was in eighth grade and he was a senior in college, I said, Aiden, go make this page. We're good at doing these pages. If people pay a little extra for this too, it's around that 3,000 ballpark number, 3,500, something like that, if you do everything. But here it is. Wolf painting just aired the other night. Well, just like anybody that sees the skills, all right, it's a half-hour discussion this guy's got about his business head. He's on ABC for this. No, what? I'm buying from this guy. Your conversion rate. How many visits turn to leads, turn to sales? Conversion rate's the most important number you need to worry about. I can talk for hours about this stuff. Most marketing people don't even know what I'm talking about. What's your conversion rate? Conversion from what? There's two conversion numbers: from visit to lead and then from lead to sale. A lot of them do know their lead to sale. I close 50% of the people I talk to. How many people land on your website and bounce? Bounce rate, big number. You should learn that one. What percentage they'll fill out the form or call you? There's a number of other ways you can get through to people too, social media, etc. But how they end up, but what percentage? That needs to be 20, 30%, 15, 10 at least. Some of these marketing companies are like, well, we're going to get 3% of your visits turn leads. What are you doing? No wonder you're telling them that because you don't want to set the expectations too high. They're like, cancel you. All right. 5,000. This is what Tyler talked about. My average job is 5,000. He only gets here we go. He only gets 50 views a month and only 2.5%. Let's take that to 10%. 1 out of 10. They've come here, they heard about them, they were recommended to them. 50 people came there to watch the video. They were recommended to them in a month. That's pretty reasonable, I'd say. And then 10% of them, 1 out of 10, 9 out of 10 said, nah, after watching this video, it's probably gonna be more like 20 or 30%. Let's just say it's 10. This guy, if you get a 30% margin, there's just $3,000. So this ROI I figured out was minus the 330. Look at it, it's 33 grand off that, and it's 87,000 bucks profit. There are your ratios. He's making 2,900% rate of return. He's making total revenue of 300 grand and 90,000 of that is profit. And that's the first year. This video is good for 3 to 5 years. May want an update when you start making money like that. Who doesn't want to put in 3 and walk out with 90? 3,000, 90,000. All right, everybody, I can go to talk about this stuff all night. But use our little calculator sheet, yourlittlecastle.com. Back here, right here. Look, video ROI. I'm putting it out there for you. I'm not even hiding anything about what we do, how it works. This is it. Plug in the numbers, just refresh. So I took it to 50,000 again. That's the average construction job. Plug in whatever you do. You get 1,000. Let's just make it 200. Look at these guys. You get a 50,000 job. You get 2% of them turn from the 200 views. 25%, you're making 600 grand on 3 grand. When does this not make sense? Let's just show that one real quick. Let's say it's 10,000. Just give me a chunk of change. Let's say it's 10,000. Well, like with the zero runner, it's still gonna make that 10,000. And 200, let's just say it's 50. 50 people come to your website and then they watch the video because you put it on the front of your website. Put it on some back page, put it on the front. Looks good. You got the ABC logo, all that. Let's say 1%. And your margin's still going to be in that 25% ballpark. Here, it still makes sense. You're making 3,000, $60,000 extra revenue. You're still making $15,000. It's still 4x, 400%. And it's like you're going to be doing a job for 10,000 to reconstruct the house. Only 50. I mean, always a no-brainer. All right, everybody. So I will stop my share and go back here. And I'm going to put this little video now right on that page below. So check us out. Get a hold of us, yourlittlecastle.com. Phone number's on the website. Text us, email us, contact us. Yeah.